Welcome to Reality with Kiki. I'm your host, Kiki, and on this channel, we discuss reality TV, celebrity gossip, and viral topics. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. A link will be in the description box below, and we also have it linked in our bio. Okay, so Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition. Okay, so we start off with Amber and Sir Brock, aka Miles, who we know from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, I believe. Um, their relationship is probably a little bit confusing for viewers who know them from there because I thought that Miles had come out to Amber. They were going to be done because he was supposed to be riding off into the sunset with his boyfriend Milan. So the storyline on Love and Hip Hop was that Sir Brock was living a double life. He was sleeping with Milan and part time living with Amber, and he eventually came out to Amber saying that he was in love with Milan, and I thought he was going to live his life as a gay man. Now I don't know what's real and what's not with reality TV, so I don't know if they're doing this for a check, but I guess that they're back together, and Sir Brock has named himself, and Sir Brock is now saying that they're back together, and he is bisexual. Whatever they decide to do with their life, that's their choice. Anywho, they are the first to arrive to the house. They get the party started by popping bottles, saying that they're going to be on their best behavior. Moni Love, in her British accent, and her husband Tough are next to show up at the house. They greet Amber and Miles. In her confessional, she discusses how this is basically it. Like, this is the last chance to save their marriage. There is a significant age gap between them. I'm assuming that she's older. And he's been cheating on her. I'm interested to see what comes of it because from the faces that her husband was making, it is probably something that he's heard before, like I'm gonna leave or this is the last straw. But she's continued to stay despite him cheating. So next they bring in Molly Mall, who was also on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and Treasure P. She was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. They say that they have a long distance relationship. When I first saw them in promo as being a new couple, I'm like, that's kind of an odd couple. But I guess, they made it work so that they can make it on this show. So lastly, they bring in Nori and his wife, Neri. Uh, they on two shows at once, and I'm not mad at it. Love and Hip Hop Miami, Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition. Go ahead and get that check. But I guess they went to the producers of Love and Hip Hop for casting on this show because everybody has been on Love and Hip Hop except for Moni Love and her husband. We got the whole crew here. So the drama gets started with Miles and Amber because she blurts out in front of everybody that he's supposed to figure out what his sexuality is this year. He says to Amber that because she's a drama queen, she pushed him into dating men. Sir, either you like men and that's why you date them or you don't. That doesn't make sense, babe. And maybe I'm just a more private person, and I know the purpose of the show is for them to talk about their issues out loud in front of people and to be vulnerable. But from the gate, Amber and Miles are arguing and sharing all of their business. So before Amber and Miles can continue to argue while everybody sits and watches them awkwardly, a bell rings and they go to meet Dr. Ish and Judge Toller. They begin to play a game where they have to guess who they think said a certain line that Dr. Ish is reading out. So you basically have to guess if your partner said that thing. Now, this is where the real tea is spilling because the lines that are being read by Dr. Ish are from like private videos, private interviews where they didn't know that that footage would be used or be shown to other people and their partners. So it's interesting. So, of course, during the game, Amber and Miles start arguing. They've been a mess since this start. They are arguing because he says that Amber is ashamed of him. She won't tell anybody that they are back together. And that she also said that she would not be with him if he was bisexual. Amber said, I don't know what you are going to do. I don't know who you're going to cheat on me with, whether that's a woman or a man. Miles gets upset and he walks out. Dr. Ish follows behind him and is trying to console him. And he's like, I can't imagine how it feels to have somebody you love stand next to you and say that they're ashamed of you. Now, I can't imagine what it's like to come out as gay or bisexual, especially in the hip hop community. But it kind of felt like Dr. Ish was consoling him as a victim. And I just feel like the way that Miles went about coming out to Amber was not okay. So you came out to Amber and told her, I am attracted to men and I have been sleeping with men while we were together. That's not acceptable. Being bisexual is not an excuse to cheat. So I was happy to see Moni Love console Amber because, you know, she is a victim. She is hurt too. They were like two bombshells. One, I'm cheating on you. Two, I'm attracted to men. And she obviously was oblivious to both of those things. So that's a lot to take in. So we move on to the issues with Nori and Neri. Her complaints are that he is not helpful around the house. He doesn't help with their children. He says that he pays the bills, so he doesn't feel like he should really help out because that's the way his father did it, and he's very old school and has that mindset. And that's a very toxic mindset, especially since she said everything has to be about him. When you're taking care of a household and children and you're not helping because you paid the bills, that is a problem. You can't take out the trash. You can't drop the boys off to soccer practice because you pay the bills. I don't think so. But one thing I do appreciate about Nori is the fact that he is able to admit that there is something wrong with it, that, and he recognizes that, and that's why he's here so that he can get some help to change. We move on to Moni Love and her husband Tough. The issue that they discuss is trust. So she doesn't trust him because he cheated on her while she was pregnant. This man sat up there and said that there was at least three other women. Um, what? And she's still trying to wrap her mind around why he did it and what was the reason, because he wanted that baby. And he was like, I did, but I didn't understand everything that came with it. And that's one thing that I don't understand because that is something that I've heard a lot from men. You want a baby, but you don't want to deal with everything that comes with it. And you're not even dealing with the bulk of it because the woman is the one who carries that baby. Her emotions and her hormones are changing constantly. Her body is changing. She has to carry that baby. And for you to be so selfish and to talk about you didn't understand what fully came with it, and you wanted to entertain other women because you couldn't be with your wife. What? So Dr. Ish was able to talk Miles into coming back. They finish up the games, and from there they go to dinner. Of course, here we go again. Amber and Miles are fighting, and I will say, in this scene, Amber was more of the aggressor. She was getting physical with him, knocking his hat off his head, pulling his glasses off his face, throwing wine in his face. It was a little bit excessive, and it seems like she's trying to embarrass him as much as she can to get him back for embarrassing her because she felt like he embarrassed her for the way that he came out to her on national TV and said that he was cheating on her. But the way that they keep getting into it, it's giving secondhand embarrassment because everybody else is just looking so awkwardly like what is going on, and they are just fighting like cats and dogs, like siblings, not even like boyfriend girlfriend, more like siblings. And it's like relax. So yeah, back at the table after Amber and Miles walk off, they're discussing how Amber is getting physical with him, and Treasure goes into how she would never boss up on Molly, and she keeps talking about how she's from Texas and she's submissive to her man. And this girl starts crying. I'm like, you are embarrassing as well. What are you crying for? And if liquor makes you cry like that, maybe you shouldn't be drinking. And she kept talking and crying about nothing. Girl, you need to go see a therapist. So we end the episode with Molly and Treasure getting into it. She starts crying again because she feels like he is controlling. I'm trying to understand how he's controlling you when it's a long distance relationship, but she goes to explain how he basically belittles her. I don't know. I guess we'll get into it more as the episodes go on. I don't know. Between the fighting and the crying, this feels like it's gonna be a little bit draining, but we will see. Let me know what you think about this episode down in the comments section.